So at this stage of the game, we have all of our duct laid up into the ceiling. We got our towers built, our air handlers sitting on the return air mixing box. So now we know where all of our holes are going to be in the ceiling and in the floor of the second floor. We got the first floor ceiling and the second floor where the outlets will be. This is small duct attenuator, meaning that this is soundproof duct. Because it's high velocity, it can create a lot of decibels with that wind, that air forcing through these ducts. So that's where they've developed the sound attenuator small duct. These come in boxes from the factory in 12-foot lengths. The rule is we do not want to make any of these lengths shorter than 4 feet. Because we know exactly where all of our locations are for our ceiling and our floor outlets, we've gone up there and we've measured and we know exactly what we need. So in this situation, let's say I need an 8-footer and I need a 4-footer. Well, guess what? 4 plus 8 equals 12. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn this 12-foot piece into 2 pieces of small duct attenuator. Using some of the tools that we've shown you earlier. This is the bread knife. So I got my 4-foot mark right here. I'm going to cut this, coming all the way down through this. Now you want to be careful. 1, you don't want to cut your hand, but 2, inside of this, there is a wire that's holding this together. So I got through all of the insulation. I've gotten through the cloth. Now I'm taking my dikes, make that cut, okay? So now what we have are 2 ends here that don't have couplings on them. Another thing, as they're coming out of the factory, it comes with a black one and a white one. We typically use the white coupling to come out of a ceiling, right? And then the black coupling, if we're going into a floor coming up, this would be used for the flooring. Any couplings connecting to a takeoff, it doesn't matter what the color is. All of these are created equal. The only thing that is required is that they have 1 gasket in between each coupling. They have to have at least 1 gasket and no more than 1 gasket. And then the other thing is, once we put these on here, we also take another piece of tape and wrap it around just in case there are any voids in the coupling, or in the gasket itself. So anyway, now that we got this, we have a white end on here. A lot of times I typically will go ahead and put a black end on the other one just in case. Then we can use it in either situation. So the way that these are, it looks like they're threaded, right? This is definitely spooled around. Normally everything is righty-tighty. In these situations, it's actually lefty-tighty. So you reverse it, you go the other direction. And a lot of times they just slide right in. So once you have it to that point, you got your coupling in, you take your zip tie, and you're coming around, and if you can see, there are these ridges that are here, right? I want to get my zip tie past this ridge right here, so that once I tighten it down, you pull on this, you're not going to be able to pull this out. So that's what my goal is here. So get this wrapped in, tighten it up, hand tighten. Now I come in with my zip tie tool, slide this in here. This is a very important tool to have because there have been times where I've seen a smaller, thinner zip tie used and just hand tightened, and then I've been walking through, I kicked one of these by accident or something, and the whole thing comes off. It slides right out of there. This is when we started using these zip tie tools. This, once I do this, boom, that's on. I can pull this thing till next Tuesday, and I'm not going to pull this out of here. So once you have it at this point, Now you have the insulation slash soundproofing barrier, and then your Mylar, the outer coat. You want to take these and pack them into the inside cup of your coupling, or cuff if you want to call it that. So I get this packed down in there as tight as I can get it, pack it all the way in there. And what I've already done is I have a piece of tape here ready to go. Get that on there, pull it tight, smash it on, bring it around, still holding it tight, come around, and now there you have it. So in this situation right now, currently, neither one of these has a gasket on it. They may or may not need one depending on, I know that the face plates, those all come with gaskets on them, so we don't need one there. And usually the takeoffs have gaskets on them too. So therefore, we just put these on, boom, we're done. We come back over to the 8-footer. We'll do the same thing for this. So the other thing about this is, let's say off of this unit, we got 28 outlets. So therefore, you're going to need 28 pieces of small duct attenuator. You already know exactly what length you need. You've laid this out. And again, this is another thing that can be done ahead of time. You have all of your pieces cut and ready to go, sitting on the shelf for when this thing comes down the line. It's ready. Boom, bam, snip it together and tape it up, and you're finished. And it's ready to go on the road.